Something strange happened in Hollywood at the start of 2026. Within just a few weeks, icons of film, television, music, and even fashion began disappearing one after another. Actors who shaped entire generations, voices that defined culture, legends whose work millions grew up watching, and suddenly, they were gone. Tonight, we're looking back at the famous celebrities who died in 2026 so far, and the powerful legacies they left behind. Let's begin. Catherine O'Hara, the comedy genius who made millions laugh. The first major shock of the year came in late January. Hollywood lost one of its most beloved comedic actors, Catherine O'Hara. She passed away on January 30th, 2026 at the age of 71 after suffering a pulmonary embolism. For decades, O'Hara had been one of the most recognizable comedic performers in the world. Many fans remember her as the hilariously dramatic Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek. Others remember her as the frantic mother in the Home Alone movies, screaming Kevin's name across airports and cities. But behind those unforgettable performances was a rare talent. Catherine O'Hara could take the most outrageous characters and somehow make them feel completely human. Her improvisational comedy style became legendary in Hollywood. Actors who worked with her often said the same thing. You never knew what Catherine would do next on screen. And that unpredictability is exactly what made audiences love her. When news of her passing broke, tributes flooded social media. Actors, comedians, and fans shared memories of how her characters helped them laugh through difficult times. Because Catherine O'Hara didn't just play funny characters, she created moments that people would never forget. James Van Der Beek, the teen heartthrob who defined a generation. Just 2 weeks later, another heartbreaking loss shook television fans. James Van Der Beek, star of the iconic teen drama Dawson's Creek, passed away on February 11, 2026 at age 48 after battling colorectal cancer. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Van Der Beek became one of the most recognizable faces on television. His role as Dawson Leary made him a teen idol. Millions of viewers tuned in every week to watch the emotional, sometimes messy lives of Dawson and his friends. The show became a defining series for an entire generation. But Van Der Beek didn't stop there. He appeared in films like Varsity Blues, starred in multiple TV series, and even showed a comedic side, playing a fictional version of himself in the cult comedy Don't Trust the Beaser in Apartment 23. Behind the scenes, he was also a devoted father of 6. When news of his death spread, fellow actors from Dawson's Creek shared emotional tributes, remembering not just a colleague, but a friend. For fans who grew up watching him, the loss felt personal, because for many people, James Van Der Beek wasn't just a TV star, he was part of their teenage years. Eric Dane, McSteamy, and A Courageous Fight. Then came another heartbreaking loss. On February 19, 2026, actor Eric Dane passed away at 53 after battling ALS. Millions of viewers knew him as Dr. Mark Sloan, better known as McSteamy, on the hit series Grey's Anatomy. The nickname alone became a pop culture phenomenon, but Dane's career went far beyond one role. Years later, he stunned audiences again with his intense performance as Cal Jacobs in HBO's Euphoria. The character was complicated, controversial, and unforgettable. Off-screen, Dane faced a devastating diagnosis when he learned he had ALS. The disease gradually took away his physical abilities, yet he continued working, continued acting, and continued supporting ALS awareness. Fans admired not just his talent, but his courage. After his death, tributes poured in from co-stars, friends, and fans around the world. Many remembered Eric Dane as a man who faced an impossible fight with remarkable strength. Robert Duvall, one of the greatest actors in film history. Some losses feel like the end of an entire era, and when Robert Duvall died on February 15th, 2026 at the age of 95, that's exactly what it felt like. Duvall was not just a famous actor, he was widely considered one of the greatest actors in film history. His career spanned more than 6 decades, and the list of legendary films he appeared in is almost unbelievable. The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, The Great Santini, Tender Mercies. Each performance showed the same thing. Robert Duvall didn't just act, he disappeared into his characters. Directors loved working with him because he could bring subtlety and authenticity to every role. Even when playing quiet characters, his presence was powerful. In 1983, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance in Tender Mercies. But awards never defined his career. Respect did. Actors across Hollywood often described him as a master of the craft, and his influence on modern acting will likely last for generations. Valentino Garavani, the designer who defined elegance. Not all icons come from Hollywood. Some shape culture in very different ways. That was the case with Valentino Garavani, the legendary Italian fashion designer who died in January 2026 at age 93. Valentino wasn't just a designer, he built one of the most iconic luxury fashion brands in the world. His signature style, especially the famous Valentino red dresses, became symbols of elegance and glamour. For decades, celebrities, royalty, and world leaders wore his designs. From red carpets to royal weddings, Valentino's creations appeared everywhere. But what made him special wasn't just fashion, it was timelessness. His designs didn't follow trends, they created them. Even today, the Valentino brand remains one of the most recognizable names in luxury fashion. Bob Weir, the rock legend of the Grateful Dead. Music fans also faced a major loss early in 2026. Bob Weir, founding member of the legendary band Grateful Dead, died on January 10th at age 78. For fans of rock music, the Grateful Dead weren't just a band. They were a cultural movement. Their concerts became legendary events. Fans followed the band across cities, creating an entire community around their music. Bob Weir's guitar playing and songwriting helped shape that movement. His music defined an era of psychedelic rock and experimental sound. Even decades later, his influence on modern rock musicians remained undeniable. Robert Carradine, a cult comedy favorite. Another actor who left behind a memorable legacy was Robert Carradine, who died on February 23, 2026 at age 71. Carradine became famous in the 1980s comedy Revenge of the Nerds. The film turned him into a cult favorite. Later generations also knew him from the Disney Channel series Lizzie McGuire. For many viewers, Carradine's characters represented the lovable outsider, the underdog who eventually finds his moment. That theme resonated with audiences for decades. Bud Cort, a cult film icon. Another legendary figure in cinema history passed away in 2026. Actor Bud Cort, known for the cult classic Harold and Maude, died at 77. The film became one of the most beloved dark comedies in movie history. Even decades later, it continued attracting new fans. Cort's performance was central to the film's emotional impact, and his work helped turn the movie into a timeless classic. Jesse Jackson, a voice of the civil rights movement. Not all of the losses in 2026 came from entertainment. The world also said goodbye to Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died at 84. Jackson was one of the most influential civil rights leaders in American history. He worked closely with Martin Luther King Jr. Later, he founded the Rainbow Push Coalition and ran for president twice. For decades, he fought for equality, voting rights, and social justice. His influence extended far beyond politics. He inspired generations of activists and leaders. Roger Allers, the creative mind behind The Lion King. Animation fans also lost a legendary storyteller. Roger Allers, co-director of Disney's The Lion King, died in January 2026. The film became one of the most successful animated movies of all time. Its story, music, and characters influenced generations of children and filmmakers. Allers helped create a movie that would become part of global culture. Even today, The Lion King remains one of Disney's most beloved stories. A year that began with loss. Only 2 months into 2026, and the world had already lost actors, musicians, designers, and activists whose influence shaped modern culture. Each of these figures left behind something powerful: a performance, a song, a design, a movement. Something that will continue inspiring people for years, maybe even decades. Because while celebrities may pass away, their impact doesn't disappear. It lives on through their work, through the memories they created, and through the millions of people who were touched by their stories. Which of these legendary figures had the biggest impact on you? Was it the unforgettable performances of Robert Duvall, the comedy brilliance of Catherine O'Hara, or the music legacy of Bob Weir? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep dives into celebrity stories, Hollywood mysteries, and the biggest entertainment news, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here on Inside Celeb X, we bring you the most fascinating stories from the world of celebrities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.